Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Non Sequitur Nerds. Tonight, open your hearts and your wallets because we're talking nerdy charity foundation. As always, I am Tim, joined by Ian. How you doing, buddy?
Hello. I'm doing fairly well. It's been kind of a hectic week for me, went under the knife, so to speak. Yeah, got a bit of a procedure, just a health check this week, but had to get that done. So,
It
clean
was
bill of
later
health
he
though.
found out it wasn't a doctor that told him to turn his head and cough.
Yeah, I mean the nurses were pretty attractive there, so
There you go, there you go.
it's a shame I wasn't awake for it. Anyway, but no, clean bill of health. So,
Good,
unfortunately
good.
for all of you watching, I'm gonna be around for a little while longer. Sorry. But anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about you and the charities and the good stuff that's going on
The
in the
good
world.
stuff.
So, obviously, things in the world are a little tumultuous, to say the least, right now. There's a lot
Just
going
a
on in
little
the
bit.
world. There's the global pandemic is still kind of happening, although it's really kind of fallen a bit to the wayside a little bit as far as news goes. It doesn't help. It doesn't help that there's one country bombing the ever-loving shit out of another country.
Yeah.
That kind of gets
That we
most
call
of the
that a
headlines.
Tuesday in here, around here.
Right. But in all seriousness, though, our hearts go out to our fellow nerds, friends, family members, and really everybody that's in Ukraine. It's a very unfortunate situation that they're in, and we wish them all the best. But with that, the reason we bring this up and we mention is because there have been a lot of charitable organizations and people coming out of the woodwork to help donate and raise money for Ukraine and other organizations around the world. I mean, just in general, it's not just them, but gamers are really kind of doing their part.
Oh, absolutely.
In a very, very surprising and massive way.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the nerds couldn't really go anywhere over the last 2 years. Conventions were kind of canceled. A lot of the
Yeah, they
trade shows were canceled. Traveling was really kind of canceled. I mean,
Everything was canceled.
right. Everything was canceled, except for politics, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving along. So, charity events and things like that have managed to raise a metric truck ton of money. There's three really kind of big ones that come to mind when I think about as far as the nerd community goes, and Ukraine and raising money for Ukraine. So there was a bundle event offered on itch.io, which is kind of like an amalgamation kind of site. They offer kind of very much like Humble Bundle, these like charitable or charitable donation type things. You get bundles of stuff and whatnot. And they were offering, I think it was a bundle of they actually got together with various they got together with various content creators, and they offer, they got these content creators kind of donate their works and whatnot. And I think it was like $6,500 worth of stuff.
It was a lot. I unfortunately missed that one because I looked at the time wrong on it and thought that it was going to end just after I got out of work on payday. It ended like 3 hours into my shift on payday, and I didn't realize that until after I had gotten home.
Right.
So that one I unfortunately...
I did get a hold of that one, but
Okay.
I believe they raised around 6.8, maybe $7 million.
It was right in the neighborhood of 7 million. I mean, it was a surprisingly high amount.
Yeah. So, proceeds being donated directly towards the charities that are supporting Ukraine.
Yep.
There's a bunch of different charities that are involved there, and unfortunately, I can't remember them off the top of my head. So you're welcome to go and look into them. Feel free to donate if you're able to.
Absolutely, dude.
But one of the bigger ones, which had just ended today, actually, was Humble.
Yeah.
Humble Bundle, which a lot of people will know for them bundling up stuff and offering it at deals. I've gotten several of their bundles. I've gotten
Same.
I've gotten some manga off of there. I've gotten them some, instructional books, drawing guides and stuff like that. They have software bundles all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Video editing, sound clips, sound bites, which, by the way, I was going to tell you earlier, but I'll do it now. They do have a bundle on there for like a bunch of sound bites and clips and things like that.
I saw that, actually.
I figured you would have.
Yep.
But anyway.
As the one and only editor of this show, I try to keep up to date on that kind of stuff.
So, the thing with Humble, though, is I don't think they offered their bundle for very long.
It was a very short time. Well, at least it seemed like a very short time compared to some of their other ones. Because there's some bundles where I'll hear about them, forget about it for a couple weeks, and like, oh hey, it's still there. I guess I'll go ahead and get it.
Yeah, I think their bundles usually run about a month, but I think this one has only run about a week or something like that. But the last that I checked in, right before I purchased the bundle, which I got it 15 minutes before the bundle ended.
You're welcome, by the way.
Yes, thank you. It had raised $20 million for Ukraine, for charities going towards Ukraine. $20 million. The minimum donation that they were asking for was $40 for all of the content. So if you can imagine how much money people were putting towards that, and you can donate however much you want to. It's just the minimum, I believe, was $40. So
Like,
I mean,
even assuming that everybody only gave the minimum, that's still 500,000 people minimum.
Right.
I mean, obviously, there were some people, like if you look at the leaderboards on there were some people that gave in the multiple thousands of dollars towards. Which, I mean, seriously, kudos to those people for really stepping up when broke gamers like me are going, all right, here's $40.
Right. It's pretty astounding, actually, especially considering the short amount of time that Humble was out there raising money.
Well, to kind of dwarf that number, I just pulled up on Humble's website, and obviously they haven't updated this yet, but since their first bundle in 2010, $200 million.
Right.
Which, I mean, that's for a charity. I mean, that's a lot of money. And now I know Humble, in the last couple of years, they have changed how much of that money towards a product goes towards charities. And they do have some bundles that are 100% towards charities. Some of them are, in a realistic world, are a certain percentage towards a charity, a certain percentage towards like Humble themselves for operating costs, things like that.
Right.
And then the remainder of it typically goes towards the publishers to cover at least part of the cost if the publishers aren't donating their work. I mean, that's true with a lot of charities. A lot of charities are 100% profit free. They don't make any kind of money on it, and it 100% goes towards charities. But the majority of them do set a little bit back just to cover their operating costs, to cover any legal fees for handling all these donations and distributing them properly. And some of them keep money back to use as grants towards people that are requesting assistance, but may not necessarily typically qualify, or maybe like a special circumstance, like, hey, we had this emergency, we're really needing funds to cover a flood that happened. Charities may set money back and go, okay, well, hey, we'll give you a grant of $10,000 for that, or 50,000 or 100,000, or $10, whatever they've got. So it does kind of vary. But I mean, yeah, that Humble bundle, like when I had looked at it a few days ago, like they had maybe hit like 2 million. I'm like, yeah, well, that's pretty impressive. And then, like Ian said, they're sitting at over 20 million. I mean, that is and that one, correct me if I'm wrong, but this one was a 100% towards the charity. Like they're not making anything off of it. The publishers and content creators aren't making anything. This is entirely donated towards them. So that's $20 million coming from the hearts of nerds to help. And I mean, I know we've obviously, it's going on right now. We're obviously, talking a lot about Crane, but there are charities that do, obviously towards other causes, other events, other, situations.
Right.
But yeah, go ahead.
Real quickly though, before you jump on, I do want to add one more to the event, because I did mention that there were three major ones that I noted.
Absolutely.
Say what you will about this organization or these organizations, but you can't really complain too much about this. So we talked about itch.io raising about 7 million, Humble raising 20 million.
Yeah.
Earlier this week, Epic Games and Xbox announced that they were donating all of their donating all Fortnite proceeds through April 3rd to several charities that are
cool.
going towards Ukraine.
So buy those V-Bucks, kids.
Well, here's the thing. I'm looking at an article from several days ago at this point. They are reporting that they have already raised $36 million from several days ago.
That's a lot of V-Bucks.
And that's just through Fortnite purchase.
That's
one,
insane.
that kind of tells you like the size and popularity of Fortnite.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, and again, say what you will about Epic Games and Xbox. I know both of those groups can have kind of a storied history and whatnot, especially Epic Games. But you know, if it's true and they truly have raised over, my assumption is probably 40, maybe 45 million
more.
at this
Yeah,
point,
for sure.
$1 million just through through Fortnite sales. I mean, bravo to them.
Yeah, seriously, that's a good chunk of change for a donation.
Yes, I would say so.
A little bit.
Yeah. Holy crap.
Oh, got an update on it?
I do have an update. As of March 25th, together, according to Epic's website, as of March 25th, and I'm going to read this verbatim. As of March 25th, together, we have raised $70 million in humanitarian relief funds to support people affected by the war in Ukraine.
70.
Yes, $70 million.
So hang on, I just want to point out, to put that into perspective, that's how much Microsoft just bought Activision Blizzard for. They have raised that much in donation. What's that?
Microsoft's acquisition was $70 billion.
$1 billion. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, when I say that out loud, 70 million, that's not a lot. But yeah, 70 million though. Pardon my misspeaking. That's right. Either way, that's an insane amount.
So if we look at
that's going to do a lot of good.
Right. If we look at the breakdown here, and I'm going to try to go through this kind of quickly. So all real money purchases made between March 20th and April 3rd will be distributed.
All right.
This includes V-Buck packs, Fortnite crew, gifted battle passes, and cosmetic packs. Using V-Bucks in Fortnite will not be included, as those are not real money purchases. 100% of Epic's Fortnite proceeds is equal to the gross purchase price of all Fortnite in-game purchases or retail purchase redemption transactions between the dates that I provided. Microsoft is contributing net proceeds from all sales of Fortnite content on the Microsoft Store between March 20th and April 3rd. Net proceeds is equal to the gross proceeds net of returns and chargebacks, billing costs, bandwidth costs, operating costs, and taxes. So basically what they're saying is that they have raised $70 million that they are giving
after all their operating costs.
Operating costs.
That's nuts. I mean, like, seriously. Like, say what you will about Fortnite, say what you will about any of those companies. Kudos to you guys. Seriously, that is amazing. As a nerd, that warms my heart. I mean, sincerely, that's
right. So, one of the things that I'm noticing that I noticed on their FAQ real quick is at the very bottom. Can I opt out if I don't want my Fortnite purchase to go towards humanitarian relief? Their response is all of Epic's Fortnite proceeds earned in the window will be distributed to support humanitarian relief. If you'd like to avoid Epic including your funds from your purchase, please hold off buying anything with real-world money until April 4th or later.
I mean,
I do like that
at least they're giving people the option. I get.
Right.
Don't buy our crap then.
So, right. Basically, it's like, if you want to be a complete douche canoe, then don't spend any money.
I mean, pretty much. Buy your V-Bucks later.
Yeah, exactly.
That's... like, okay, I mean, again, at least, they're giving that transparency of, if you really don't feel like this is a worthy cause, just don't buy our crap. I mean,
yeah. So anyway, I mean, if you look at this, then so we have already $70 million plus $20 million plus another $7 million, which is $97 million.
Just shy of $100 million.
Just shy of $100 million raised by gamers within the last week and a half.
Yeah, we'll say 2 weeks to be generous.
Right.
Like, and I imagine there are other, like, nerdy charities that maybe weren't as high profile as those. I would say just nerdy charities alone is probably well over easily.
Oh, easily over 100 million at this point through various donation channels. So
that's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, no, it truly is awesome that the nerd community, the gaming community are coming together for such a worthy cause. But we don't want to necessarily stop talking about this because we feel it's very important, but at the same time, the point of the episode is that we cover some of the other broader ranging charities. So I'll just finish up with this particular segment and saying, bravo to all of you who have donated and contributed to these worthwhile causes. And again, our hearts go out to all of the people in Ukraine that are currently fighting for their homeland. We wish you all the best and send our love and our donations as best we can. So anyway, moving moving on, I think you were starting to lead into something before I stopped you to go back, and I'm kind of glad that I did.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was, and I don't remember what it was now. But another point that I was going to talk about later, apart from charities abroad, there are also a lot of local here, at least in the States anyway, charity,
Right.
or at least based here. A lot of these charities we're going to talk about, at least the ones I've got brought up, do some worldwide stuff as well. One that I know has been in the news lately, Critical Role Foundation. Anybody that's familiar with the Critical Role game and that amazing they have their own charitable foundation. They just announced that for their next Red Nose Day, they're actually partnering with Stephen Colbert to be a player, and donations are going to go towards. See if I can actually pull up exactly what it's all going to go. Red Nose Day, you get to choose Stephen's adventure through your donations. So I mean, Stephen Colbert is an amazingly talented, funny, caring. So it's awesome that you're going to be able to get to do that. But they have also
Right,
done,
and I think he's also one of the undisputed champions of Lord of the Rings trivia.
Yeah. I mean, it's he knows his stuff. He knows his stuff.
Yes, I believe he was called out on his show one time by I think one of the cast members of Lord of the Rings, and
Colbert actually'd him.
Yes, actually, and then turned around and spanked him.
Yeah, it was great. It was great.
Yes,
but I mean, a little bit smaller numbers from them anyway. Some of their past campaigns have raised in around the neighborhood of $150,000 plus. But considering that typically they do charity streams of them playing the game or playing a game or playing something together, those are still no small numbers to sneeze at. I mean, if I had $150,000 to give away, that'd be an amazing thing. But this is a community that has come together to help these people raise money towards good causes. Things such as setting up things for schools, a Native Youth and Culture Fund. I mean, they've done a lot of. I mean, they're a relatively new charity. I believe we had established 2019 is when they were founded as an actual registered charity. And it looks like their first thing, and again, if I'm wrong, I apologize, but it looks like 2021 is when they first started doing a lot of their special fundraising. But again, it's kind of another facet of the nerd community coming together to help raise the cause. So
right.
So what do you got? You have any more you'd like to talk?
So yeah, there's a few of them that are out there. So Gamers for Giving is another charity that's kind of local to the area, and it's really it's fundraising to really kind of provide entertainment systems to children's hospitals.
Oh yeah, I know that one.
Yep, and things like that. So they've been operating since 2008. Okay. So if you want to give them a look, it's gamersforgiving.org. You can go and donate to them directly, but they also do a lot of events like streaming partnerships and things like that. They actually have an event coming up very soon, March 26th, 27th. I realize that'll probably be after this is aired. Mm-hmm. So there is more info that you can go out there, but they host a whole load of different events and things like that. So
weren't they one of the years that you and I went to Gen? Weren't they there? Or there was some charity organization that I if it wasn't them, it was somebody that had a very similar kind of ideology on how they or what they do. But I don't remember if it was them specific.
Yeah, I can't quite remember. Okay. But I know there were some there.
Okay.
So they do sponsor. They do obviously charitable donations, and they partner with a lot of streamers and streaming services as well, in order to be able to to generate these things. And you can actually donate your time to them. And if you have your own stream, or channel or following or something like that, then you can actually sign up to be a guest or a contributing streamer with them.
Okay.
Excuse me. And I'm trying to see here. I know their upcoming event. They are trying to raise $1 million for their charitable outreaches.
Okay.
So let's see. Trying to see. We are gamers. We inspire and heal through play. So this is kind of their mission statement. Let's see. Here we go. Collectively, they have they estimate that they have enabled between 2.74 and 3.65 million instances of play annually. So basically, this is them donate. Their donations have helped people connect through that many instances of impact and care. They have donated across 310 healthcare centers, and they have provided nearly 1,300 units of what they're calling their go-karts, which are basically health hospitalized, no, I shouldn't say hospitalized, but healthcare enabled entertainment carts, which are they have screens and controllers and everything else that are attached that are
I'm
more,
assuming like a mobile station kind of
yes,
thing.
a mobile station.
I've seen those. And see, that's a really cool thing. Like, I know a lot of, especially like the older generation, don't necessarily see the benefits of video games, but yet these are the same generation who were begging for Wii systems in retirement homes to be able to do golf and bowling and things like that. It's amazing how much, especially from a medical, it's amazing how much, being active, like speaking to the Wii, or even just having that distraction, having that kid who's in the hospital for whatever reason they're in there, being able to give them, even 20 minutes of, a fun thing to play with that will distract them even for that short time. You can see and it's great that it's not just, those kids sitting there, bored, staring at the wall, and the only thing they can think about is the reason that they're in there. Giving them an outlet. I think that's an amazing.
Yep. So, real quick, I did find some more concrete numbers.
Okay. What do you got?
In 2021, they managed to raise $3.2 million. Okay. And in 2020, they were able to raise $3.1 million. And it was a little bit of a slower year, admittedly. Yeah. But they still were able to exceed the previous year's targets. It just kind of goes to show you what kind of impact these people are making. And in my job, I actually deal with medical-based software and things like that. So I kind of know some of the costs of these different devices and carts and things like that. So I can tell you, that money is not going to waste. Medical grade equipment is not cheap.
It's not. It's really not.
It has to go through certifications. It has to go through special procedures and cleaning. It has to go through a lot of design elements to it. So, these systems are not cheap. So the money that you're donating is definitely helping these different organizations. And a lot of their stuff isn't always just going directly towards hardware. There is a lot of things with programs and outreach and education and that kind of stuff. Just because your dollar doesn't necessarily translate directly to the purchase of an Xbox.
Yeah,
it's going to translate to other programs and ways that they can help, infrastructure in these places to being able to do things, like LAN parties and stuff like that in hospitals, so these kids can interoperate, connect with each other.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So there are other events and things like that are going on. There's a lot of stuff going on here in the States with, various statewide legislations that are, seem to be more geared and targeting towards the LGBTQ community, famously Texas and Florida, not necessarily calling you out, but there's a lot of people that are actually streaming and donating money towards litigation, fighting back against these laws and stuff like that. Back in February, I'm looking at an article right now. A Twitch streamer, trans Twitch streamer by the name of Bloody, kicked off charity campaigns and has so far, I believe, raised just over $100,000 towards nice. Legal expenses in fighting some of these laws.
Good.
And things like that. So, gamers are doing their part to help causes that they care about. It's not even something that is gaming related, as we talked about with, the Ukraine situation. It is causes that people really truly care about and humanitarian effort. And this is going to be kind of an opinion piece right now, but what I am actually finding and seeing is that some of the most charitable and caring people in the world are the nerd community.
Yeah.
The gamer community, the people that used to be branded as the outcasts and You know, the just the folks, the weirdos.
Right.
Which may be why we're some of the most charitable people out there, is because we know what it's like to be kind of branded and subjugated and that kind of thing. But you
Right.
know, we're the geek gamer nerd community has wound up being, so, again, some of the most charitable and humanitarian of people around. And I think it comes really from our ability to connect to other people on a global level without having to leave the comfort of my computer chair.
Exactly. I mean, and kind of going off of that, where it's also raising for causes that may not necessarily be as large scale world impacting as a war. One that this is a name that I believe a lot of our listeners will recognize. Late great Stan Lee actually has started. I believe it was in 2009. The Stan Lee Foundation. Their big thing is helping promote literacy. One of their big, but also here literacy, arts, and education programs to teach people like practical and important life. They do a lot. I mean, Stan Lee himself was very passionate about those things. I mean, obviously, a prolific comic. Reading and art were two things that were very important to him personally. So they have done a lot to raise to help, especially with illiteracy in adults, which you don't really hear about a whole lot, sadly. But it's something that, like, look at their website here. They estimate that 1 in 7 adults are illiterate. I mean, you get 7 people together, one of those people is probably illiterate, at least to some extent. So I mean, that's something.
So if you think about that, I mean, if you think about that from a global scale, there are roughly 7 billion people on this planet right now. So that means 1 billion people on this planet cannot read.
Yeah.
That is a staggering
it is.
number when you think about it. Anyway, I'll let you proceed with your thoughts.
But I'm trying to see. I had it here a second. Yeah, they were founded in 2009, and it even says that Stan wanted to create a program that would help children and adults learn to read, and providing them with entertaining stories that would entice reading and encourage literacy. Again, it goes back to his comic of very much the two parts of a comic, art and work, are two things that he was always very passionate. I mean, Stan Lee knew a lot of very creative people throughout his life, a lot of artists, a lot of writers. So something that was part of his daily routine was contributing to these things, and the foundation was started as a way of trying to give back to that. I mean, obviously, like, we're with us, but the foundation continues to a lot of great things. StanLeeFoundation.org. You can find out more about them there. And I do want to say, like, none of these charities, we're not plugging for any of them. We're not saying, hey, if you're listening, you need to go out there and you donate. But I think we are saying that if you feel it's right and you have the means to, there's a lot of these are a lot of great charities. There's a lot more out there. I know you had touched on charities going towards the L+. One that I had actually pulled up is a charity called Geeks Out, where, according to their website here, they seek to rally, promote, and empower the queer geek. They do so by organizing events, attending conventions, coordinating queer spaces at other events. They do a lot of advocacy programs, and they actually have their own convention called FlameCon, which is the world's largest LGBTQ comic and pop culture convention. So, I mean, they literally have their own convention specifically for their cause. I mean, you can find them at geeksout.org, and I will just say their header image on the website is fantastic. I have never seen a male Ursula cosplayer before, but I will say this dude is rock. When
you say Ursula, do you mean the Sea Witch?
Yes, Little Mermaiders.
Okay.
It's like, I'm not ripping on the guy. It is legitimately like a really good gender bent Ursula cosplay. I'm very impressed at. But it's again, it's really nice to see. I mean, you'll always have your charities where they will run, I don't want to say promotions, but they will run a program for, hey, this charity is a really important thing in the world. There was a disaster here, there was a war there was a tsunami, fire, whatever here. But then you've also got ones that they focus on one cause, and that's their thing. So, I mean, it is kind of nice. Wow, it is kind of nice. As we were doing our research before the show about this topic, it was just amazing how many just nerd, geek, whatever charity groups there really are. Like, I personally only knew of a few before, but it like, just even a quick Google search, like, it brought up so many lists of different, and we're not even touching on all the ones that we found. These are just the ones that kind of are jumping out to us as we're going through here. Excuse me, goodness.
Yeah, so I mean, there's others out there as well, as Tim was saying. Looking at some of the more adaptive. I'm trying to find the words here. Sorry. AbleGamers is another one.
I was actually going to bring that one up as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Providing, people with disabilities or conditions or, that just need help, equipment and the capability and the ability to game. So providing not only counseling, but research, community events, equipment.
Yeah, like they have actually done several like customized controllers for people with various disabilities, like including let's see, mouth controllers, devices that let you play with your eyes, like various like custom designs for people who are gamer that through whatever disability they may have are able to use your traditional keyboard and mouse or your controller. They customize these things specifically for these people, which I mean that's right. Amazing that they're so incredibly inclusive. I mean, and regardless of what walk of life, from whatever your situation may be, I mean, if you're a gamer, you should be able to, if it's something you legitimately enjoy and are passionate about, it's great that something like Able.
Yep, I would agree with you. Obviously we can't. I can't talk about charities and charitable events and things like that without touching on one of my favorites, and it's not necessarily gamer related, but I have to make a shout out to something that's very special to me, which is Reading Rainbow.
I was gonna say I didn't think they had a fat bald ginger organization, Ian.
You would.
I had to. There probably is one, and they're going to give me hate mail now.
Yeah, they are, but I mean, to be fair, it'll probably they'll probably go with the fat douche canoe charity that's out.
Fair point.
That's also out there. So
they'll side with me.
Yeah. Yes, Reading Rainbow has been around since the 70s, 80s. Right, it was a big part of my childhood. Helmed by the incomparable LeVar Burton. And it goes back to Tim's discussion and point earlier about illiteracy and combating illiteracy and things like that. So Reading Rainbow is one of those ones that's very special to me because they.
That's their whole thing,
right? That's their whole thing is that, and it was a component of my childhood and things like that. So,
and I think everybody of our generation, at the minimum, at least knows.
Right, Butterfly in the Sky.
I can go twice as high. I want to know what that singer had against butterflies, though. I mean, that entire song is just wanting to one up that butterfly. Like, do they have a issue with? Show us in the doll where the butterfly hurt.
Yes, exactly. So anyway, I did have to give a shout out to
absolutely
to Reading Rainbow. So with that though, I think we'll probably start to wrap up things here. Obviously, geek culture, nerd culture has been very generous when it comes to donations and contributing to just the well-being and the advancement of their fellow man. So by all means, if you have the capability and can go out and donate, please do. We have mentioned several very powerful and impactful charities or just events and things like that today.
Well, I mean, and even if none of these jumped out to you, a quick Google search, like look up charities that support whatever thing you feel the need and desire to contribute to, you'll find. I mean, the internet's an amazing thing.
Yes, it is. And it's a way for you to stay connected and things like that. And as what I had mentioned earlier, use some of that internet and your love of gaming, if you're one, or geekdom or whatever it is out there, and connect with people that are out there and really kind of learn about other people, other cultures, other walks of life. The gaming community is a fantastic way to really connect with and experience things that you don't normally experience, while also being within the comfort of something that you enjoy. Online D&D groups, online gaming groups. Go and play Halo Infinite with just connect and play Halo Infinite and put on your microphone and just talk to people.
Absolutely.
You'd be kind of amazed at the people that you meet and interact with out there. I used to know people all over the world back
Yeah.
when I played World of Warcraft.
Back when anybody played World of Warcraft. I said it. I don't regret it.
Yeah. So with that, we'll go ahead and I think wrap up from there. As
Sounds
always,
good. Sounds good.
Yeah, I think so. So as always, you can catch us on Anchor.fm, where we are hosted, which feeds out to several other podcasting websites: Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, several other podcasting sites as well. Catch us on YouTube, youtube.com/non-sequitur-nerds. Social media, Twitch. .tv/non sequitur nerds, twitter.com @non sequitur nerd, and facebook.com/non sequitur nerds.
That's us.
Yep, that's us. So with that, I think that will do it for us. So we look forward to seeing you next time. And as always, much love to our friends and family out there and the different communities. And we wish you all the best and hope that you are safe and healthy, especially in this wacky and crazy world that we live in right now.
Yep.
So stay strong, my friends. We look forward to seeing you next time. I think that will about do it for us.
Think so.
Alrighty. Well, take care out there, folks. And for Non Sequitur Nerds, I'm Ian.
And I'm Tim. Night, everybody.